A very good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of News First Weekend, coming to you live from our News First studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudannaika. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
President assures that the government is bound to protect all members of the military. Arjun Aloysius provides 3-hour-long statements to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Who is accountable for the Silk Cloth saga? Hurricane Irma makes landfall in southern Florida, United States.
News First special correspondent Shivanti Duravani in Western Florida joins us now with the latest on the situation on the ground.
We started feeling the effects of Hurricane Irma around Saturday afternoon to late Saturday evening. And overnight things have certainly deteriorated. The winds have picked up. We've experienced torrential downpour. And as you can see, this is our backyard, and you can see how the winds have picked up and how strong it is. And this is not even being in a direct path of the hurricane. The eye of the hurricane is about 200 miles south of where we live, over the Florida Keys. We live in Broward County, Florida, which is southeastern Florida. Just to put things in perspective, Miami and Fort Lauderdale is on the east coast of the Florida Peninsula, and that's where the hurricane was supposed to hit. And it changed course, and now it's hitting the west coast of Florida, which is Naples, Fort Myers, and Tampa. So a lot of people have lost power. Things could have been a lot worse for us, but it still looks pretty bad outside. So we are hoping for the best at this time.
A water purification plant constructed at the Ritigaha Viharya in Horopatana was declared open by President Maithripala Sirisena today. This project was undertaken under the National Kidney Disease Prevention Program in order to provide clean drinking water for residents of areas prone to chronic kidney disease. 249 purification plants have already been built in this area at a cost of 383 million rupees. President Sirisena also declared open another 10 purification plants constructed in the Anuradhapura district. The Presidential Task Force on the Prevention of Kidney Disease also gifted a sum of 45 million rupees to set up water supply connections for 5,000 families in the Polonnaruwa district.
A newspaper last week reported that a retired army officer has engaged in politics against the government. He had made a statement that the most distasteful thing he has witnessed in his entire life is how this government is chasing after war heroes. Who carried out this maneuver? It was done by individuals engaged in politics against the government. These retired military officers were the ones who were brought in front of the presidential secretariat and installed outsiders among the disabled war heroes and diverted the purpose of their protests. Individuals who are involved in anti-government political movements maneuvered this to create a clash with the police. This was created against the government. Now, the same people who created the issue are saying that it is distasteful. I wish to say clearly that the government will uphold the policy of protecting war heroes far better than these war heroes who only talk.
President Sirisena also turned his attention to letters he had received from students of 2 schools in the area.
Children from 2 schools handed me 2 letters. One was from Ruan Valley Central College. There are 1,800 students at this school and the teaching staff numbers 80. Although there is a well on the school grounds, the water is unfit to drink. Therefore, they had asked for a water filtration system. I do not know why it took so long to acquiesce to this request. I wish to inform you that I will immediately take steps to address this issue. There were also complaints about the lack of desks and chairs and an assembly hall. There are 2 provincial ministers here and the governor is also here. Why has this not been resolved? This cannot happen. This is a major issue. If the provincial council is unable to make provisions, we can do it. There is no shortage in funds. Students of Badiuddin Central College are requesting that a girls' hostel be built for them. This can be entrusted to the Navy. The Navy Commander and Chief of Defence Staff are here. I ask that the Navy Commander commence work tomorrow.
සල්ලි දෙන්න පුළුවන් අදම නාවික හමුදාවටම බාර දෙන්න පුළුවන් නාවික හමුදාව ප්‍රතිතුමාත් ඉන්නවා ආරක්ෂක ප්‍රධානතුමාත් ඉන්නවා නාවික හමුදාව ප්‍රතිතුමා හෙට අනිද්දා ඉඳලා වැඩ පටන් ගන්න.
The 50th edition of the Vavak Samaga Gamak program took place in Madadigiriya today under the auspices of the President. An interesting incident occurred during the event.
දීවර කර්මාන්තයෙන් අපිට අස්වැන්නක් ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙනවා. ඒ වගේම 2020 වෙනකොට අපේ ඉලක්කය
A 3-year-old girl attempted to climb onto the stage on which the president was seated, but she was blocked by members of the Presidential Security Division. The president, who witnessed this, signalled for his guard to let the child through. The little girl, who managed to climb onto the president's lap during Minister Mahinda Amravira's speech, stayed there till the end of the event.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa expressed his views to the media following a public meeting held in Kobekane yesterday.
Yes, that was my order. I admit it. That happened because he executed a state order or an order of the president of the country. It was mainly because of the government at the time. A government policy, and it is also mentioned in the constitution that Buddhism should be developed while protecting it. The administration then acted accordingly. This government is not interested. He did not follow my personal orders. He implemented a government policy. That does not mean that I purchased silk cloth. I clearly state that this court order is wrong. There are a lot of legal issues in this, so we will make an appeal. Speaking following a visit to the Velikada prison, MP Bandula Gunawardena had this to say. Why should he be accountable? When the President exercises the powers vested in him by the Constitution to issue an order, the Secretary is duty-bound to execute it. Article 9 of the Constitution confers on the President the responsibility of safeguarding the Buddha Sasana. The State Committee appointed in view of the Sambuddha Jayantiya determined that silk cloth must be provided. Members of the joint opposition called on former Secretary to the President Lalit Veeratunga and former Director General of the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission Anusha Palpita at the Velikada prison today. Ravi Karunanayaka has admitted to money laundering in public. He said he does not know. Ask his wife. Have any steps been taken? They made a mountain of wealth through the bond scam. Have they stopped the use of that money at the very least? This is a major conspiracy.
Several views were expressed on the political stage today on the silk cloth saga.
Mahinda Rajapaksa is saying that Lalit Veeratunga acted upon his orders. Public servants are a group of henchmen who are supposed to take orders from politicians. Lalit Veeratunga's wife was the chairperson of the Securities and Exchange Commission at the time. She was influenced and was ordered to operate the exchange rates as well as the activities at the commission according to political wishes. After much tolerance, she resisted and said no. She said she would be stepping down from the position as a state official with a backbone. He wouldn't have had to face this fate if he had served as a state official with a backbone.
The real rogues, the fraudsters and the corrupt who issue these orders and use state officials for their own triumph and political agendas hide behind the curtains, while the innocent officials have been thrown aside and are left to face the legal consequences in prison. We regret the situation. This
is a crime which is unbearable to this earth. The people are quite disappointed about it. We are collecting money to pay for their fines. We are not rich people, but it is our duty. We started collecting yesterday.
Apparently, they are collecting a rupee each from the people to pay the fine imposed on these officials. The 650 million rupees was also paid through the people's money. So why on earth are they collecting money from the people again to pay off a fine imposed for a crime?
If Shashindra Rajapaksa, Basil Rajapaksa and Mahinda Rajapaksa admit to this, it will all be over.
If Lalit Veeratunga was sentenced to 3 years in prison for the distribution of silk cloth, then I suppose those behind the central bank bond scam, which caused a loss of billions of rupees, should be sentenced to at least 300 years in prison.
As politicians, we must accept the fact that it is said in the country's constitution that the law is above us all and that it should be implemented against anyone and everyone equally.
Anusha Palpita Mahatmyat.
What Anusha Palpita and Lalit Veeratunga did was not public service. They were not punished for carrying out a service to the state. It was because it was a service for Rajapaksa. When a presidential election is around the corner and 600 million rupees is allocated to provide silk cloth to a selected group of people, it amounts to corruption. It is fraud. It is an irregularity. 600 million was spent on this. You could have used 600 million to buy silk cloth for the entire country. They thought of the Buddhist people as a weak community that would give their votes when silk cloth was distributed. It was an insult to the Buddhist people.
The Department of Meteorology forecasts that rains will intensify over the next few days. The Director of Education in the Sabaragamu province, Sepala Karuparachi, has announced that schools in the Ratnapura district which were closed due to heavy rains will be reopened tomorrow.
The Met Department is forecasting rains between the 11th and 14th of September. Nagadeepa received the highest rainfall in the island over the past 24 hours with the figure at 105.5 millimeters. Yatiyanthota received rainfall of 67.9 millimeters, while Helboda in Pusallava received 65.1 millimeters of rain. Delft Island also received rainfall of 56 millimeters. Two spill gates of the Laksapana and Canyon reservoirs were opened this morning. The water level of the Laksapana reservoir had risen rapidly after the spill gates at the Canyon reservoir were opened, prompting authorities to open two spill gates at Laksapana for 2 hours. The heavy rainfall also caused the Kaluganga to break its banks, inundating Kesalhenava, Maduruvela and Anguruwathota in Horana. The water level of the Kaluganga had reached flood levels between Ilimba and Bulat Singhala Govinna in Horana. Flood waters which had submerged Molkava Road in Bulat Singhala have receded, allowing the movement of vehicular traffic. The army says it has deployed teams in 6 districts to act as first responders in the event of any disaster situations. Army spokesperson Brigadier Roshan Semirathan said teams have been deployed in the Gaul, Mathura, Kalutara, Ratnapura and K Gaul districts. Meanwhile, in its forecast for the next 24 hours, the Met Department says the western, southern, Sabaragamu, central and northwestern provinces should expect showers or thunder showers tonight. The Met Department adds that while these areas could experience rain tomorrow as well, there is also the possibility that other parts of the island will receive showers or thunder showers after 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Thunder showers may be accompanied by temporarily localized strong winds, and the public are requested to take precautions to prevent lightning-related accidents.
But time for a short commercial break. Stay with News First. We will be right back. Welcome back to the news. Newly appointed Foreign Minister, President's Council Tilak Marapana met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi today. The Sri Lankan High Commission in India said that Foreign Minister Marapana conveyed the greetings of President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe to Prime Minister Modi. Minister Marapana referred to the cordial relations that exist between the two countries as manifested by frequent high-level visits fortifying close bilateral bonds. Prime Minister Modi, while warmly welcoming the Foreign Minister, stated that coming to India on his first overseas visit is a reflection of close partnership between the two countries. Modi renewed his assurances that India will stand by Sri Lanka's forward march towards progress and prosperity. Minister Marapana had also called on India's External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. Arjun Aloysius of Perpetual Treasuries Limited arrived at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry for the 4th day today. Aloysius arrived at the Commission around 10 this morning and provided a statement to investigators of the Criminal Investigations Department. He left the premises of the Commission around 1 p.m. Arjun Aloysius appeared before the commission to record a statement after notices were issued on him by the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. The Sunday Island reported that Indian investors who have expressed interest in developing the East Container Terminal of the Colombo port are losing interest due to the lack of a response by the government for nearly 6 months. According to the Island report, 3 Indian companies had bid for a 20% stake in developing the half-built East Container Terminal at the Colombo port. The Ports Authority called for expressions of interest totaling $400 million in June last year to complete the half-built East Container Terminal, which had cost over $80 million. Development work on the East Container Terminal began in the year 2010.
We have completed work on a 450-metre section of the terminal, and the Ports Authority spent a total of 10.8 billion rupees on this project. The civil engineering activities, the electrical aspect, as well as preparing the entrances have all been completed. All that is left to be done is to install the necessary machinery. The Ports Authority has the money to do it, but the Minister and the government have no interest in it. The Colombo South Terminal began because we wanted to have a port which could accommodate large ships that are being built elsewhere in the world.
President Maithripala Sirisena expressed these views during an event held on the 1st of August to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Ports Authority.
I confirm that we will not give the eastern terminal of this beautiful and important port to anyone.
Ports Authority trade unions point out that there is no need to award the development project to India, as the Ports Authority is capable of carrying out the development activities.
We need to spend around $80 million to install the machinery. We have this money, but since 2015, the Cabinet is yet to approve the requests that have been made. Since the Hambantota port was given to China, India is now asking for the eastern terminal. Why should we be trapped by this ploy? It will only cause harm to the Sri Lankan economy.
An event to expedite and educate a proposal to implement a child-friendly system of legal aid in Sri Lanka was held in Colombo this morning.
The event organised by the Child Protection Force was held under the auspices of former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga.
A country, a nation that cannot protect its children should be ashamed first of itself and will not be able to march forward. It's not worth moving forward in such a context. The NCPA today is dead. And is there anybody from the NCPA here today? Yes? Did you invite them? So you can see the interest. Anyway, extensive proposal of all the work that needs to be done by the various arms of government, the police, the judiciary, the leaders, the government will have to take cabinet decisions. We have to work closely with the Attorney General's Department. Education is, the most horrendous thing is that a person who's supposed to teach children abuses the child. This is not unheard of.
The Ministry of Finance and Mass Media says that a new chairman is yet to be appointed for the Development Lotteries Board. The ministry spokesperson noted that while 3 individuals have been nominated for the position, an appointment has not been made. The chairman of the Development Lotteries Board, Ramesh Jayawardena, and the board of directors were removed from their positions on the 31st of August by Finance Minister Mangala Samaravira. The Development Lotteries Board and the National Lotteries Board were gazetted under the Foreign Ministry for a short period following the recent cabinet reshuffle. However, following the resignation of Foreign Minister Ravi Karunaika, both institutions were restored to the Finance Ministry. Incidentally, following the resignation of Ravi Karunaika, the chairman of the National Lotteries Board, Attorney at Law, Sharmila Pereira, had also tendered her resignation. More local stories come your way on the other side of this short commercial break. Stay with News First. Welcome back. You are with News First. The Vilpattu National Park, which was closed to visitors due to the prolonged drought, has been reopened. Newsfirst cameras captured this footage of the Vilpattu National Park, Sri Lanka's largest sanctuary, a few months ago. Spread over a massive 131,693 hectares, Vilpattu is home to at least 605 species of flora and 388 species of fauna. A gift of Mother Nature, the Vilpattu National Park is a paradise for wildlife and environment enthusiasts. The prolonged drought has had a severe impact on the park, with the iconic waterholes or villus, which give it its name, being reduced to mere depressions in the ground. This prompted the closure of the park from the 1st of August. However, heavy rainfall experienced over the past week has rejuvenated Vilpattu, and the Ministry of Sustainable Development and Wildlife has announced that the park will be open to visitors daily from 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. While the gates of Vilpattu have been reopened, we wish to reiterate to our viewers the importance of following rules and regulations for visitors. You are only visitors here. It is their home. Do not leave behind any trace of your presence. Wife of late Minister M.H.M. Ashraf, Ferial Ashraf, had met with the leader of the National Unity Alliance, Asad Salih, in Colombo recently. The meeting took place at Ferial Ashraf's residence.
The son of the late M.H.M. Ashraf and Ferial Ashraf, Aman Ashraf, also participated in the meeting. Ferial Ashraf, a former leader of the National Unity Alliance, had extended her best wishes to current leader Asad Salih to carry the party forward while remaining true to the founding principles of the late M.H.M. Ashraf.
The Pops concert of the Symphony Orchestra of Sri Lanka will be held on the 16th and 17th of September at 7 p.m. at the Bishop's College Auditorium in Colombo. The rehearsals for the concert were held today.
Dushanti Pereira, who has gained a reputation for her dynamic conductings, will direct the SOSL's Pops concert.
This is our fourth SOSL Pops concert, and we are playing quite a lot of familiar works from the musicals and also from the films, and I'm sure there's something for all of you.
The concert will also feature renowned and charismatic singers Bhatya Jayakodi of BNS fame and Shehara Leonage, Dinushka Jayavikrama and Amandi Caldera, leading singers of the all-female choral ensemble Soul Sounds. The orchestra has also chosen some swinging jazz numbers by George Gershwin and Frank Sinatra, along with a trio of songs made popular by the phenomenal Josh Groban.
And in sports news, the 29th Mahawali Games concluded today with the Mahawali B zone emerging victorious, while the H zone came in second.
The Mahawali Games, which showcases the talents of residents of the Mahawali settlements, came to a close today at the Polonnaruwa National Grounds. URAB Rajpaksa of the Mahawali Hurlueva zone was adjudged the best male athlete for his new tournament record in the long jump event. Nadisho Ramanayaka, who set a new games record in the 400-meter event, was adjudged the best female athlete. The Mahawali B zone won the overall championship with a medal tally of 13 golds, 9 silver and 7 bronze. A large number of athletes from the 10 Mahawali zones took part in the Mahawali Games under 41 events.
Well, that's a look at tonight's edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.